Okay. Thanks everyone for coming out. Of course, this is the guild meeting January 13th for Mostly Harmless, talking about a few different things. The main things, of course, being the exciting games that are coming out and the games that we're playing at the moment. Got a nice picture here of some of the guild members in Albion Online and stuff. Let's get the Santa hat going here. Nice to see everybody here on the Guild Island and stuff, including our uh, some of the crafting alts and different things. The games, of course, that are coming out this week, we've got Malarkey's going to talk about Blade and Soul starting up. Is it this Friday, Malarkey?
Yep, Friday 10 a.m.
Nice. Yeah. Kodiak's going to be talking about Black Desert Online. Wade's going to be talking about the Division and Arc. We've got a really nice setup on a private server for Arc as well. And of course, we've got some people still playing Heroes of the Storm, which is a very good game. A lot of the people that are playing Albion are certainly interested in Heroes of the Storm because of the same kind of PvP and stuff. And then, of course, Arc for that survival somewhat sort of hardcore. You lose your gear, you lose your stuff, you lose your guild territory and stuff. That these things certainly matter. But for this beta in Albion Online, we wanted to build up our team a bit and test the game. About 10 to 20% of us are still active testing our PvP builds and team compositions. As you can see in the videos that we've taken the last week, we've taken on group after group after group last week, and we won these fights hands down against groups that often outnumbered us and outgeared us. There was one fight against DFO the other week where they outnumbered us. It was a nice close fight at first, and then 15 people rolled in behind us from a different guild, and it became a three-way with us caught in the middle, which sounds more fun than it was. We're certainly really pleased though with a few things in the game that people like Zenfa and Embold and Silver and Patch Notes and Eric and so many more have been active in getting people into their groups. So they're out there and they're making sure whether they're into the PvP or whether they're into the crafting, they're including people in their groups, getting that bonding going on and teaching each other. There's a lot you can do solo in the game. I'm certainly happy that we're forming a team and getting to know each other. Not everyone's going to have the same strengths, but we support each other and take on challenges appropriate to the groups that we're fielding at the time. So of course for the 5v5 guild versus guild, most people know if they want to be in that and if they have the skills to compete. And like I'm quite happy to say, yeah, I'm on the B team. I'll help out. I can be on the A team if you need a fill, but I'm happy to have the people that are better at that do that and to help out where needed. I think most people are pretty cognizant of where their abilities lie and stuff. So, and it's really neat to see that the crafters and people that are more into the resource gathering and so on are happy to support those people that are more into the GVG to make sure they go on, and vice versa. That the people that are into the PvP are out there protecting. We're doing these resource gathering things. We did a big alliance one the other day, and we just cleared entire areas, killed people, had lots of good fights, and at the same time, we had 2,800% overweight on one character that was holding a bunch of stuff for us. Like it was amazing the amount of stuff that we got back, and that was what, 5 gathers, 6 gathers. Like we just hauled back a lot of stuff, and that was just our very first one of those. So good times that way. Um, and certainly with beta, we're having just the scheduled events. We're having 2 a week, which is more than we expected. We had only planned to have about 1 a week, but it just makes it easier for people that are, you know what, I'm testing the game, but I'm not going to go too hard right now and burn out. So it makes it easy for people to come out on the Wednesday night or the Sunday night for an event or some other scheduled event as people arrange it. With that said, though, we do need help in a few areas. We've already have several volunteers that are going to try out certain roles. For example, Sunari's taken on the crafting lead. We've had Bold and Zenfa helping out with PvP builds. Zenfa and Alcinius have been like ambassadors helping out with diplomacy and talking to some of the other groups that we're looking to ally with. We've got and we could use people that we call bus drivers or other recruiters for sure. These are the people that are helping with the bus test. We always want to ensure quality over quantity. We want to ensure good people. You're playing with these people for several hours at a time. It's like your other family. So make sure that you can get along with them, that you can work out differences. You don't always have to be best friends and stuff, but you want to be enjoying that party or that trip. Could use more event coordinators or party animals. It's a beta, so it helps to have events, of course. And PR. On the PR front, actually, of course, Vixen used to do most of this for us, and Patch has done some in the past, and so have Dridden and other people have written articles. At the moment, though, we've got some good news that we had asked Albion or Sandbox, the company for Albion Online, to maybe have us in their little gazette and have a little feature there, or sorry, just a little article there about mentioning us in some capacity. They got back to us today and said, nope, sorry, we're not going to do that. I was like, oh, okay. And they said instead that we want to have you guys in a spotlight. And I was like, oh, that sounds awesome. So thank you very much. And as you also know, we've been put on the round table to help give feedback directly to the developers. So we're very happy about that. We're just trying to move forward in our relationship with them, so that we can also get to know some of the other good guilds in the game, but so that more importantly, so that we can give good feedback and help this game develop into something that isn't all about Zergs the way some games are. That does allow smaller groups like ours to have fun and be successful in whatever capacity that means to us. Excuse me. So certainly looking to, as you may have heard, there was an alliance meeting the other day. Had a very good time with the goons and stuff, but we're looking to try some other allies that, especially in other time zones, so that we're not tripping over each other and competing with Zergs to get resources, fame, etc. We want to look for people that are showing longevity in the game. But who knows what the future will hold? Like, I certainly wouldn't rule anything out. It's been a very amicable split. August is a long ways away. Certainly anything could happen by then. That ox. So I'll link a document in TeamSpeak here in just a second. That is for feedback too. That's for the roundtable. We'll probably post it on the public forums as well, but we want to give them that feedback right away to show them that we are involved and to give our input as quickly as possible so that they can implement in the game, because they are doing a lot of things in the game, of course. So I'll link that here in just a second, and we'll get back to some more stuff about the individual games and stuff, including builds and stuff in Albion Online after the public portion here, the non-recorded portion. As you know, I did say earlier in terms of other games that we're playing, one of them is Heroes of the Storm. You'll see Dengstrom and Keisel and a few of the guys down in that channel. Val, one of the guys we just recruited, he's 4,000 MMR. He's happy to help show people the ropes there and stuff. And I know some of the other people that are playing Albion Online are also quite up there in their MMRs, whether it's Platinum or Diamond or whatever. So certainly look at that, and I'll turn it over to Boyd just to give a quick promo on Arc there too.
Yeah, so we've got an ARC server set up. I don't know if any of you guys have played it or not. There's kind of a video link for it, but it's pretty cool. It's like an open sandbox style game. Basically, you tame dinosaurs. You can build anything you want. You have like player progression and everything else, so you kind of level your dude up. You can breed dinosaurs. You can build guns and shoot. And there's PvP, and it's a pretty big island, so it's a ton of fun. But we have a server set up for that. That's an Xbox One video, but it's kind of a general aspect of the game overall. It's definitely fun, but just hit me up if you have any issues getting in or any questions about it as well. Another thing that's going to be coming out is the Division, which should be pretty fun. It's kind of a small squad base, like six, teams of six, but it's an open world kind of Manhattan, or Manhattan, I believe, and it's got like kind of a PvP element to it too, as far as the Dark Zone, which is like a 24-person territory. Everything's kind of levels up. Your gun does. You can switch out customizations on it and everything else, and kind of it's a semi-Destiny kind of, I believe it's going to be like. So looks like a ton of fun too. But yeah, hit me up if you guys are interested in that at all. I know we've kind of got a group that's getting ready to go into it here soon. The beta should be opening up on the 29th, I believe, from what everyone kind of says. I believe that's the latest trailer out. It's kind of like a secret one because Ubisoft came and yanked them all from all the online, websites and everything. So it's a pretty good one. But pretty much after that, I'll turn it over to Marky.
Alright. Hello, I am Malarkey, an old ESO fiend and current Path of Exile bum. As some of you know, Blame Soul Early Access begins this Friday at 10... 1 second. Who is that? Wow. Sorry, guys. Anyway, the the early access begins Friday 10 a.m. Eastern. And since there's a good number of us who are going to give the game a look, we are going to set up Mostly Harmless as a guild in the game. As it stands now, we're treating the game as a nice way to have fun with friends and guildies, while maybe killing some bad guys in the process, and maybe owning some arenas. We don't know. For those of you who might not know about Blade and Soul, some very basic information is that it is, at its core, a free-to-play Korean fighting game. The main focus of the game seems to be the combat, which is really in depth, and the 1v1 and 3v3 arenas and duels. There is potential for open world PvP and grouping, but you have to flag yourself by putting on different kinds of armor and chest pieces, so there's no guarantee that you'll run into the PvP at any time. But there's also a potential for like massive battles out in the world. While the game is free to play and it is 100% free to play, it's not really at the same time, because as we've learned in the betas, the currency, the rate at which you earn currency, is really, really slow unless you spend like the minimum $25 for the game, and then it goes up like drastically. Sunshine can attest to that. It's it's actually like you kind of would want to spend that $25 if you're interested in the game. But if you want to try it out, it is 100% free, and you can join us not on Friday but on the 19th when the game fully releases. In terms of Mostly Harmless, we've decided to go on the Mushin server. We chose that because just from scanning forums and stuff, it appears to be like it's the most popular NA server. So hopefully we'll get some good fights, and we recognize a few of the guild names who will be rolling the other faction. In terms of faction, we're going to roll Cerulean Order, which is the blue one. So once the game comes out, I guess I'll post my in-game name up on the forums, and we'll try to get everyone invited and start having fun. And that's really all I got. Who's next? Kodiak? Blade and Soul?
Black Desert? The rival to Blade. No. So Black Desert Online, it's a game, Dom Games. They released in Korea not too long ago. They've done a lot of progression. They've got a lot of people's eyes turn their heads. They seem to be, really aggressively progressing their game. They've released a lot of new classes, a lot of new specializations for classes, whole new territories. A lot of people, a lot of big buzz with a lot of other big groups and whatnot looking at Black Desert Online. Where does that put us? Now, some of us are currently playing the Korean version, and we're kind of learning the basics of the game. It is interesting, to say the least. There are some instructions for people who have members access on the forums, how to do all that if you are interested. However, the big thing we're waiting here is we are going to play the NA version, not the Korean version. We still do not know when Closed Beta Test 2 is coming out. Their launch plan is to do Closed Beta Test 1, which happened in December, then Closed Beta Test 2, then go right into a launch. So no real long delay there on that. A lot of people are estimating sometime in the March range for an actual full launch. The game is buy to play. It is not a free to play title, which means that people who are interested, whether it means you're interested in a pre-order or you're interested in getting into things, the actual game when it launches, you will have to buy it. I want to say the packages are 30, 50, and 100 to get in. So there you go. If you buy the $50 or the $100 package, you get into CBT2. Now, during CBT2, a number of us have already pre-ordered it. We're going to be gauging interests in the guild of who is actually going to be playing the game based off of pre-orders. And kind of just who people who are interested in getting in there and doing that. And if we get enough people, we'll kind of do a follow-up on the forums, kind of say like, okay, well, here's what we had pre-ordering it. Who else is going to be interested in playing it? Doing that type of stuff, and we can kind of decide on our plans from there. The big deal is there's two for the game. For those who are unfamiliar, is you have clans, which is basically kind of like a glorified chat room, And then you actually have a guild, and a guild in that game actually is quite substantial. You can have guild wars, you can take guild territory. You have to, but in addition to that, to keep that going, you actually have to have a dedicated base of people to actually level the guild up. Because, for example, there's only 20 slots when the guild starts, so you actually have to have like a dedicated crew of people who are going to be in there, dedicated to playing the game and advancing the group. Meanwhile, you'll be competing potentially with these, like Rook mentioned, these Zergy guilds and whatnot, potentially large other groups of individuals out there who are going to be organized, who are going to be doing that. So we just want to gauge, kind of see where people are at, kind of gauge people's levels of interest, their level of dedication to the game, and kind of go for that, and kind of keep it pretty loose for now, and kind of just see what's up. We know we got some people who are like, oh my god, we have to go full on steam ahead, we need to do this, just go crazy. As it's like, well, hold on your horses, let's see what we got, let's see what we're going to be capable of, and kind of go from there. So that's kind of the Black Desert Online in a nutshell.
Yeah, so those are some of the things we can do if, I don't want to see people get burnt out, even though Albion's kind of ways away from releasing. So, just there's other stuff that people are playing. Definitely just jump in the channel and hang out.
Yeah, there's lots of good stuff going on. And I just realized all that chat that we were saying in the game was recorded there. Oh, no, my picture's over it, so people can't see that. That's good. Let's do a countdown in the game for effects and stuff. It'll be about 10 seconds here. Even less than that. You guys are probably ready for it. We'll try and get one last screenshot here for the that story that the Sandbox was going to do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, I think I got that even with the meteor going down. Nice. Cool. I think that's the main things. That there's certainly a lot of good stuff going on. We're going to get into just some general questions and stuff afterwards here. It's been just a lot of fun though. Like, there's a lot of different games. Don't be shy to go down to channels and ask what people are playing and stuff. And certainly if you're in those channels, obviously sometimes people are AFK and stuff, but if you're there, keep welcoming people the way you always do and get to know these other people. Thanks everyone for coming out. We'll just stop the public portion and get onto the private part where we can talk about some builds and get into some more specific